I'm here at a supercharger in Des Plaines, Illinois, and Koby and William, Liam's dad, are heading through Chicago on their way home for this massive trip. We're gonna catch them as they roll in, and I'm gonna ask them a whole bunch of questions. I think this is them right here. The red Model 3. Look at this thing, the Road Warrior. Look at the dirt on this thing. Oh my gosh.
Howdy.
Hey.
There's a Waymo Ojai.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's right over there.
Koby spotted something just as he was pulling into the supercharger. What'd you see?
I saw a Waymo Ojai.
They're not even in Chicago, so there's something happening here. We're gonna go check it out. And just for a quick reference, we're right outside O'Hare International Airport here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
I have not ridden in an Ojai yet. I tried to while I was, because it's still beta for anybody that gets to ride in them, because you have to be in Waymo beta or whatever.
Oh, it's beta? Okay,
yeah.
Wow.
Sick.
Wow.
That's crazy. There's no charge port or anything? That's crazy. Yeah, Ojai are these center ones right here.
The blue ones?
Yeah, the blue ones. Those are really new. They're being cleaned right now.
Evidently.
They're
Wow.
shutting the doors. They don't want us getting in them.
Look at that, there's one over there too. It's got California plates on them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The car is reserved for the next rider. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
3 of them, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're videoing us right now, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
that's crazy. No, they're very rare now. They haven't like gone out of beta yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think they're doing testing and
because they're not open here
collecting
yet.
data.
You know what's really
yeah.
funny though? As soon as I came into Chicago, I got a notification on my phone saying you haven't tried Waymo in a while. Try it out now, even though it's not available here.
Wow.
So the notifications they're set up to they're getting ready to launch, is my guess.
So we just spoke with one of the ladies that was driving these things around, and evidently they're being driven manually, and that's not a huge surprise. They're collecting data, but this is the first time I've ever seen them up in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. They station a lot of the Waymos in a parking garage in the city, and they collect data down there, also with drivers behind the wheel. So they're prepping for Chicago. I think this is next on their radar. And because Waymo is making progress here, Tesla's right behind them. Robotaxis are sitting in a parking lot in the city waiting to be launched. Chicago is about to change when it comes to autonomy. Here they are, the Road Warriors. Super exciting to have a chance to meet you guys on this long, long journey. These guys have more experience using FSD V14 Lite than anybody else on the planet right now. And this is an extremely long trip that they're making. They made it all the way up to the tip of Alaska, and they're almost most of the way back home, I would say now. So you guys are at the tail end of the trip.
We are.
How has it been? Overall impressions, what would you have to say?
Version 14 Lite is quite amazing on roads, and we don't talk about parking lots at all.
Version 14 Lite, as Koby said, is really good on city streets and highways. It's smooth, it's confident. There's a few little minor non-safety issue things. Parking, Koby's already had 3 versions of 14 Lite, and they were all not great at parking.
Yeah.
Then when we were in northern Alaska, there were a lot of potholes, and we could not get 14 Lite to slow down enough. That was one feature. They need to have something that, instead of going like, even if we had it on sloth, sometimes it was going way too fast.
Okay.
Yeah, another point I'll add is that the first 2 versions of version 14 Lite that were sent out to EA and not that did not go wide actually had a lot less issues than the newer versions. They just didn't have all of the UI features that we now have in version 14 Lite. It was basically like version 12, but it said version 14 Lite and the model was improved. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely.
Yeah, the first two versions, there was this like, now in the wide release version, there's this little acceleration burst that it does every once in a while where it'll accelerate a mile an hour and slow right back down. That did not exist on the first two versions. And then also there's this kind of, shall I say, brake. We've been calling it a brake jitter, but at the same time I've also been calling it, what was it that we... a stutter / hesitation that you get, and neither of those did I ever experience on the roughly 10,000 miles of driving we had on the first two versions. Now just in the last 2,000 to 4,000 miles we've experienced a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Which has been in the newest wide release version.
Interesting. So I have to ask, for a long road trip like this, if somebody's venturing out on their own to do something similar, when you specify the stops for the superchargers, there's 3 options: fastest, best amenities, and fewer stops. Which one do you guys select?
There are no choices where we were. There were no Tesla chargers.
Oh, wow.
So we either were on BC Hydro, or we were on Flow, or we were on someone's 120 volt plug in their wall, or we used, somebody had a welding generator on the back of a truck, and we convinced them to turn it on and let us sit there for 7 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, the answer to that is we use fastest whenever we're inside the US and then, you know, kind of the southern point of Canada. But whenever you get up to northern BC, Yukon, and then southern Alaska, and then also northern Alaska, central Alaska has pretty good supercharger infrastructure. It's generally just southern and northern Alaska, kind of the more rural areas and industrial areas that don't have it. So I normally use fastest, and then we use a better route planner. And then we use fastest on a better route planner as well.
And we also use PlugShare quite a bit to, and a lot of places we would get there and there was a problem with the credit card, not our card, with the card reader, or one guy, he put our charge on his Flow card because the station had no internet. Tell them about the generator.
Yeah, so there was one BC Hydro location that the generator wouldn't start with the start generator button on the actual unit itself. And I ended up calling in and they had me go pull a generator cord in a locked security area.
Yeah, first they gave them the code to get in the security area. This was about 100 meters away, and they said, okay, type in this code, open it up, go in there, turn this on, and pull the cord, and you pulled it 4 or 5 times.
Correct.
And it finally started the generator, and we were able to charge.
Oh, wow. What an adventure. It's down to survival skills at that stage, isn't it?
It has, yeah. We sat on top of very cold hills for many of hours on a Honda generator. So mosquitoes are everywhere.
Oh, no.
Everywhere.
Lots of mosquitoes, big, giant mosquitoes.
Hopefully you have mosquito spray. Please tell me.
We did not.
Oh, no. So you were just like camping inside your car?
We were, yes. And if you actually look inside the car before we leave, you're going to have to look inside. There's about maybe 600 dead mosquitoes smashed everywhere. And every time you open the door, about another 40 got in. So,
wow,
yeah.
Unbelievable. So I know this has been a very memorable experience for both of you. And how many days now have you been on this trip?
25.
25
we've
days.
been, I think it's 23 or 24 at this point.
At this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I have to ask, obviously there's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but what is by far the most memorable point of this trip so far?
I'll say the most memorable point for me is either one, driving through southern Yukon, northern BC with the giant mountains. It was very beautiful. Or probably one of the coldest points of our journey, which was in the top of Adigan Pass on the Dalton Highway, where we got to 0% charge at the very top and were unable to move. So we had to get a Honda generator out in the snow, ice, and cold with no heat, and the generator was sputtering the entire time and gave us almost no charge. We were up there for almost 5 hours with no charging, and it was quite cold. And then we ended up coming down the hill later with the car coasting and regenning down the hill, getting to about 2%, which it was still very cold, and then spending the night, I think it was about 9 hours in below 32-degree temperatures inside the car, which was quite cold.
Well, what happened was there was a state maintenance camp, and they had about 5 buildings. On one side of the highway, there was an airport. They maintained that, gravel. And the other side, they had all their equipment for, in fact, when we got there, there was an 18-wheeler that had gone off the road and turned on its side. And their job was to go get it and pull it back. So they let us charge on 120 volts, 12 amps for the first 8 hours. Then they later probably felt sorry for us, and they said, come in and you can have warm coffee in a warm room. And then finally, after about an hour, they said, okay, you can use our 240 volts. And they were really nice. So I gave them a brand new Starlink, never been opened out of the package.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
And we have 2 more. Koby brought one and I brought one.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I noticed, so you were streaming with those for a while, and I noticed you stopped a couple days back. Is that right?
Correct. So it's been off and on streaming the whole time. The entire way up from Key West, Florida to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, we were streaming. There has been some issues recently with our battery solution that has stopped us from being able to record.
Portable batteries.
Yeah. So we have a power station from Anchor, and the 12 volt outlet has not been working to charge it. So we've ran out of battery and been able to stream for a while. But we plan on getting back to streaming sometime soon for the last day, but we'll see if that ends up happening. But everything is being recorded, so we'll have a time lapse of version 14 for roughly 25 days of driving.
And we should be streaming in a few minutes now. It went off last night when the battery went down to 0.
I see. Okay.
The
Great.
portable battery.
Wow. Well, congratulations on this amazing trip. You guys are making history. It's really incredible tracking your journey. You have how many more days now?
Today will be, I think, our last day, actually.
Are you serious?
Well,
Oh, wow.
Depending on.
If all goes
Amazing.
well, we'll be home before 5 p.m. today, which
Oh,
we've
that would
got
be
about
so great.
6 hours, I think 7 hours maybe.
Sure.
I don't know what time it is, but roughly about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with me here.
Of
I'm so
course.
glad I could
Thanks
meet
for,
you.
Yeah, having the time to come out and see us.
Well, thanks again. Make sure you follow Liam's dad and Koby Pierce on X and check out their content. They have some additional materials down below that I'll post as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.